everyone, Silas here. Hope you're doing really well. I just wanted to shoot a quick video on a subject that I've been delving into a little bit more recently. And this might rub a few people up the wrong way, so I'm going to just come straight out and say it. But over the last few months, I suppose, I've been doing a little bit of digging around a subject called occult science, you know. Now, when we hear the word occult, a lot of people tend to run for the hills and say, no, I don't want to get involved in a cult because, it's Satan worship or something of that nature, which, is an interesting reaction. And most people have that reaction of fear around the word occult because they think they know what it means, but it's, we've been misled again. It's one of those things. Occult essentially just means hidden, right? So hidden knowledge, hidden science. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure in some circles there is occult knowledge, which is, Satan worship or God knows what else, but that's not what we're interested in here. What we're interested in is a deeper understanding of how the world works in order to be a better person and in order to serve other people, right? So that's kind of my interest in it all. And so doing a little bit of digging around occult science, it kind of came out with some really interesting points, And I'll give you some as an example, right? So let's take the atom, for example, right? We're told that the atom consists of protons and neutrons and electrons. Okay, that the electrons orbit around the nucleus of the atom, and everything that we see in the material world is seemingly solid. But when we put it under an electron microscope, what we see is particles of matter vibrating very quickly. And when you delve right down into the depths of the atom, science will tell you that there is an electron orbiting the nucleus, which we've all seen the diagrams of, I'm sure, when we were at school, and that essentially that void is absolutely empty. Now, I want to give you guys some idea of scale. If you were to take a garden pea, and put that on the centre point of the Wembley football pitch, the outerlying edges of the stadium would be the formal sort of enclosure of every atom. And the atoms are the building blocks of all material across the known universe. And so it's interesting that void would seemingly be empty, right? And when you start to dig down a little bit deeper, you'll understand that void isn't actually empty, but that's what mainstream science tells us because that's all mainstream science knows. And unfortunately, the occult knowledge has been hidden from us purposely throughout generations, and in some respects for very good reason, because some of this knowledge is very powerful, and in the wrong hands it would do everybody the world of harm. So I think it's interesting to look at that a little bit deeper and start doing a bit of studying. If you were to go to the Vatican, for example, the Vatican Library holds archives of thousands and thousands of years worth of information. And yet mainstream science only seems to be scratching the surface of what philosophers and people knew for certain several thousand years ago. So why is this knowledge being hidden from us? Well, that's something, as I've sort of touched on lightly, I think it's to stop the information falling into the wrong hands, and it has to be approached with a certain level of respect and understanding. And the purpose of doing the video here today, guys, isn't to boast about it or anything like that, but it's to encourage you to look a little bit deeper and a little bit further, because most of what we've been told, as we already know, has been hidden from us. And if we do that digging a little bit deeper, we start to get some surprises. So to my mind, studying the works of Napoleon Hill and those on a practical level, we're told that the mind is a broadcasting and receiving station of thought. Digging deeper than that, we understand that our thought process has been scientifically measured to actually affect matter. Now, think about that. Our thought process, and this has been proved in science, actual, modern day mainstream science, you can look it up, has been proven to affect matter in real life. Okay, so it's been found to manipulate and change the vibrational composition of certain materials. And that's really profound. So to my mind, there must be some link between the incredible void within an atom and man's ability to manipulate that void with thought. Okay? So maybe that's a deeper scientific understanding of the law of attraction in some ways. I don't have all the answers, guys, but I'm just encouraging you to scratch the surface and start to have a little bit of a look at that, because I think it's a real shame that we could live our whole lives with not getting all of this, and we could be so close to having everything that we want in our lives, and we shy away from it because we're, living in fear, essentially, of taking a look at what has been purposely hidden from us. So that's just my take on a few things, guys. No real answers, but an encouragement to explore a little bit further. Take care and have a wonderful day. Take care.